PG&E customers from all over California have expressed concerns about the utility's new smart meter system.
Action News reporter Court Klopping met with an angry customer as well as officials from PG&E for both sides of this debate.
You could call it a power struggle. PG&E customers all over California are expressing concern over their rising energy bills following the installation of smart meters.
Before we had the meter, our average bill was around $250, absolute maximum. On an extremely hot month, we might hit $275. The last bill that we just received for the 2-month period of time was over $917.
Moore's concerns are not without precedent. Several PG&E customers have already called the energy provider about their bills doubling when smart meters have been installed. An issue PG&E spokesperson Paul Moreno says is affected by the weather.
Whenever we've had a change in seasons, usually from spring to summer or during winter, customers, even before smart meter, have called us with billing questions.
But Moore contends his energy use has stayed consistent through the smart meter transition and says his bill is far too high for the size of his home.
It's 4 people living in a 3-bedroom, 1,385 square foot home with a $550 PG&E bill last month.
Moreno told Action News there could be another reason for the higher bill.
The older meters appear to have been under-reading electric usage in cases where a very old analog meter could have been under-reading usage, benefiting the customer. When a smart meter is installed, usage is being recorded accurately and billed correctly.
Still, the debate rages on. Some cities have gone as far as filing class action lawsuits and pushing for a moratorium to stop the meters from being installed. In Chico, Court Klopping, Action News.
According to PG&E, only 10 of the 3 million smart meters installed to this date have been found to be faulty. But if you do have concerns about your bill, call the number on your screen. PG&E is at 1-866-743-0263.
3 former patients are suing the Advanced Eye Care, the Eye Surgery Center in Chico. The trio, all elderly residents from Paradise, claim their vision was made worse from their operations. They all had cataract surgery in October of '08 and claim their eyes became seriously inflamed, causing ongoing problems. Now, the Eye Surgery Center was closed today, but the doctor who performed the operation is quoted in the Chico Enterprise Record newspaper as saying 2 of the 3 patients now have normal vision again, and that a third only has problems related to a circulation problem. The center reportedly offered to settle the claim, but officials say the patients want too much money.
A Thermalito teacher will not face charges for allegedly teaching under the influence of drugs. Dawn Vance Crum, seen here in an Action News interview from 2008, was arrested in May after a staff member at Sierra Avenue Elementary reported that she appeared to be intoxicated. Vance Crum failed a sobriety test, and officers seized a bottle of prescription drugs. Prosecutors have decided to drop the case after the teacher's attorney provided a copy of the prescription. There's no word whether Vance Crum, currently on administrative leave, will return to the classroom.
A Chico man who stole nearly $700,000 from a North State retirement home was sentenced today in federal court. 69-year-old Tom Randall was sentenced to 33 months in prison for computer fraud and money laundering after pleading guilty in May. Between 2004 and 2005, Randall opened bank accounts for the retirement home without authorization. He also used stolen funds to pay personal expenses. He is required to surrender to U.S. Marshals in 60 days to begin serving the sentence. In Oroville, a Chico man convicted for starting a fire at an antique mall was in court today for another restitution hearing. 22-year-old Evan Felver was asked to pay just over $54,000 to 3 more vendors from the downtown Chico Antique Mall last summer. Felver unintentionally started a fire that caused thousands of dollars in damage to the local business. He is scheduled to appear in court for another restitution hearing September 17th.
The Chico Unified School District now has some much-needed funding from a federal grant. Action News reporter Britt Carlson shows us how the money will be benefiting students at 6 elementary schools in the district.
The Chico Unified School District is banking on a new federal grant to help it fill in the budget gaps. The $1.2 million grant will help fund counselors at 6 elementary schools: Chapman, Citrus, Emma Wilson, McManus, Parkview, and Rosedale.
5 of them are our program improvement schools, and then Emma Wilson is one of our biggest schools that does not have other kinds of services.
So what does it mean for students? A lot more attention from professionals.
I think it's intuitively obvious that if kids are worried about safety issues, about emotional issues, they're not going to learn as well. And there's a great deal of evidence if kids feel safe, if they're in a structured environment, if they feel supported, and they're in emotionally good health, that they're going to do a lot better job of learning.
The grant will cover about 3 full-time counselors and a part-time psychologist for 3 years, but the work may be divvied up between multiple part-time employees, meaning more job openings.
I imagine we might get a mix of maybe some internal people, maybe some people who are on the layoff list, and perhaps some brand new people to the district.
They'll implement a 3-tiered system at the schools.
Entry level would be some prevention issues such as the teaching small groups of kids or classes of kids on conflict resolution, on anti-bullying kinds of things.
Tier 2 will identify students with anger management and social problems who will receive some group counseling. Tier 3 will help those high-risk students who need individual attention.
Anytime we can, start intervening with small problems before they become large ones, that's so much what we want to do.
It's something that hasn't really taken hold in the state of California.
By having the resources to address those behavioral problems, the district believes the schools will have even more successful learning environments. In Chico for Action News, I'm Britt Carlson.
The counseling programs are expected to be in place in the next few weeks.
Some of the top professional bull riders are coming to Red Bluff tonight. They'll be competing at the Tehama District Fairgrounds starting at 8. The event was moved from its usual time at the Tehama Fair to this weekend because of a scheduling conflict with the professional bull riders and a series on the East Coast. Admission is $10 for kids 12 and under, $25 for general seating. The gates open at 6 with autograph signing starting at 6:30.
The price of a gallon of gas can vary depending on where you buy it. We'll look at why that is next.
I'm Stacy Johnson. While gas prices certainly aren't low these days, imagine what it would be like to pay $10 a gallon. Then again, imagine what it would be like to pay 6 cents. Gas prices around the world heading your way on Money Talks News.
And the Emmys will be handed out this weekend. We'll show you who's up for what just ahead.
Cool storm system headed our way this weekend. We'll talk all about that when Action News returns.